Greetings and welcome to another episode of Wealth Building Wednesdays, where we discuss on this platform wealth building, real estate development, capital investments, all in one place for those who are entering the real estate market or for seasoned investors. I'm your host, Bomani Howze. Today we have a special guest, Chris Buccini, co-president of the Pollin Group and also lead developer for the Lowerhill development site. Today, we're going to discuss a variety of topics related to your journey through commercial real estate development. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bomani, for having me to your first wealth building show. I'm really honored to be a part of it. Just want to introduce myself as Chris Buccini. We helped found the Pollin Group over 25 years ago when I was in my late 20s. And what I like to say, long before I knew what I was doing. But over the last 25 years, we built a mixed-use development company, an acquisition company, where we build and acquire office, hotel, apartment, sports and entertainment projects around the country. I'm excited to be part of the show today because, my grandparents all came over from Italy, and my grandfather came over following World War II and started an air conditioning and heating business that grew into one of the biggest in the Middle Atlantic region. And that's really where the roots of our business come to. My mother and father ran that business together for over 50 years. And as contractors, and my brother and I always wanted to get into the development business because we thought it would be easier. Little did we know. But really, that's sort of how it came to being. I was born and raised the son of a contractor, and I always say that I come from a construction family, but know just enough about finance to be dangerous.
So let me ask you what I'm sure a lot of our viewers want to know. Tell us about your first deal. How did you finance your first deal?
That's a great. Well, actually, I'm going to give you the first deal that was financed by BPG. So my brother Rob Buccini and Dave Pollin started the business a few years prior, and they built a Best Western in a cornfield right where you get on the auto train in Northern Virginia. And my parents, Dave's parents, they didn't have any money to give us for the deal. So Dave's uncle, Abe Pollin, was a really, really special man, a big real estate guy in DC. And he got a small local bank to give a loan on the hotel construction. And Dave was a Cornell hotel graduate. My brother went to Cornell as well. And they literally maxed out, I think, probably 12 different credit cards, did all the cash advances. That helped them get through their pre-development. And they were able to raise some money from some of their close friends who really believed in them, guys they played football with. And then that turned into the next deal, which was an industrial deal. And from there, it just, we grew and grew from there. But it was always really,
Was it a pretty good deal? Did it turn out?
Oh my God, the first deals were the best deals.
Okay. So I want to switch gears now.
I got a funny story. That first deal, they had no money, and they literally, it was a total shoestring, and some stuff was getting stolen on the construction site. So, after working all day on the construction site, Dave Pollin would sleep in a lazy boy chair with a shotgun. He became the nighttime security guard.
Right. We'll have to swap stories on securing your premises and the materials and yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this. Tell us about a deal that didn't go well and some of the valuable lessons that you learned from it.
Sure. I sort of feel like my career has been over three phases. It was the early years, call it the first 10 years, starting my early 20s, where it was build. And then we helped hit the global financial crisis around 2008, 2009. And at that point, things had gone so well for so long that we'd taken on too much leverage. And so I spent the next few years really sort of working on our portfolio and just fighting to keep it together, which we did. And really proud. I think one of the things I learned was just try your hardest, do what you say you're going to do, stick to your word. And then I came out of that, and one of the things I think that was sort of like the second phase, and the third phase has been sort of since we came out of that over a decade ago. And I think what you have to do is be very careful about not over leveraging a property. because leverage, things go up and things go down. You have the 9/11s, the GFCs, the COVIDs of the world. And I think that's been a really important lesson coming out of, that downturn, but also just always doing what you say you're going to do. Never run from the deal, never run from your obligations.
So you mentioned the COVID-19 pandemic. How has that financially impacted the company for you?
It's been a really, really, business-wise, it's been a very sort of mixed bag year. Our apartment projects have done better than ever. Our office portfolio has actually done quite well. We've seen a real flight to quality, and we always try to build buildings like the F&B Tower, which are best in class in their markets. Our hotel business struggled greatly, but again, we had reduced leverage and we really kept it together. I think the hardest thing was leading a company where we actually came back to work in the summer of 2020, so a year ago, and I think it was hard really leading a team and keeping people pumped up about being in the office, because we were felt we were frontline workers that way. And then also it's been really hard on the hotel business actually bringing these hotels back to life and hiring labor. I mean, there's a massive labor shortage in America today, and that's been a really big struggle for us to, creating the levels of service and quality of service that a hotel requires.
Yeah, and so the June jobs report just came. I was just reading that this morning, and one of the things that it spoke to was the difficulty in hiring low-wage workers, particularly in the hotel and restaurant industry. Are there some innovative ways that you're thinking about increasing the number or the flow of workers coming back to the hotels and restaurants?
Yes, it's still really, really hard, and a lot of it has been financial. A lot of it has been increasing wages, which we've been happy to do. That's worked really well, and we've been probably a lot more team focused. Instead of having maybe like one group at one hotel of cleaning people, we'll create a team, and they might go to a few different hotels. So having to be creative, things like that. But I think everyone in the hotel and restaurant business is really having to be very, very agile and creative.
So back in 2018, you were awarded major contract to build the first national bank financial tower, the financial center here in Pittsburgh. The groundbreaking is scheduled for the summer of 2021. Tell us why you're so bullish about commercial office space.
Well, I am very bullish about Pittsburgh. I'm very bullish on the economy of Pittsburgh. I'm very bullish on this parcel. I'm very bullish on my partnership. I think wherever we go in the United States, we want to be partnered with just some of the leaders in their community, and we really have that between the Pittsburgh Penguins and FNB Bank. So let's start there. Secondly, I run the office platform at BPG, and we've actually had our best year of leasing ever last year, with well over 1 million square feet of leasing. Why is that? Everyone isn't going to work from home in the future, right? So yes, some companies will have less people in the office, but I think quite frankly, it's not that people won't be coming back to the office, they're going to work differently. So if they're going to work differently in this sort of arms race of trying, I think most companies realize their greatest asset is their employees, is their talent. And so to attract the top talent, you really have to have a strong work environment, a place for people to go. There hasn't been a multi-tenant office tower built in Pittsburgh in decades. I mean, 20, 30, 40 years. And so there's been a lot of technological enhancements in the last 5, 10 years alone, let alone the last 20, 30, 40. So the FMB Tower is going to be something unlike anything Pittsburgh has seen. And I know there are a lot of really smart, unbelievable companies in Pittsburgh who are going to see this as a great place for them to attract the top talent and then to retain the talent they have.
So what is your message to businesses that may be considering leasing up some of the floors in the tower?
Well, welcome. We're excited to have you. I think that you really want to dig in. You want to see that we're going to have the tallest ceiling heights, the most glass, a green building, an amenity set that has never been seen or built in this marketplace. And I think it's going to be a real, and by the way, as important as anything, a social impact model, unlike maybe any building in America. So while also giving your employees a great place to work, we're really going to be giving back to the surrounding Upper Hill and Middle Hill communities, and something we're incredibly proud to be part of.
So you mentioned community impact. I know that's something that's very important to you. You signed an agreement to reinvest in the Middle and Upper Hill, the Greater Hill District, as a part of this deal. Tell us a bit about how that's been going and what you envision perhaps 3 years down the line after the building is up and going.
You know, I think at BPG, we've always been very proud of our social mission, regardless of our marketplace. But this economic impact on the Hill District is something that I'm just profoundly proud of. And I'm really proud to have been, I certainly didn't create it, but I stepped into the CSIP and really proud to be a part of it. We think we may have one of the biggest community reinvestment plans in America, certainly in Pittsburgh, certainly in the state of Pennsylvania. So the thought that this one tower alone, and this is just the tip of what will come throughout the whole Lowerhill project, the thought that, you know, $50 to $60 million of direct economic impact will go into the community is just exciting. It's exciting to think what this means over the next 36 months as we build the tower and we create jobs, with over 30% going to Black companies, Black-owned businesses, 45% total MWE projects, but also the direct impact we'll have on homes in the Upper Hill and jobs and other economic development that goes up along Center Avenue and elsewhere.
So you're on track for breaking ground with the First National Bank Financial Center. What's next?
We didn't catch our breath. No. What is next is shortly behind will be coming $110 million project across the street to build a parking garage and a Live Nation music venue. That'll come next, but we're also working on some exciting other office projects on the parcels and the hotel. I think the hotel will really ramp back up, but you know, I think all eyes are on getting to a groundbreaking in the next 4 weeks.
Great,
and then going vertical.
Great. Well, this concludes our first episode of Wealth Building Wednesdays. Chris, I want to thank you personally for giving us some of your time. I know you're very busy making other deals happen. We want to have you back on the show. But before we go, tell us where we can go to get some information about the Lowerhill development.
Great, absolutely. So please go to www.lowerhillredevelopment.com. And that's our website that gives a nice overview of the project. And I'll be upset, Bomani, if I'm not invited back to give updates on the project along the way. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll definitely have you back. Thanks, Chris.
Take care.
Thank you for tuning in to an episode of Wealth Building Wednesdays. If you want to stay up on exciting content related to wealth building, real estate development, and capital investments, be sure to also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Lowerhill Redev. Lowerhill Redev. We're going to drop a video every second Wednesday on YouTube. Be sure to tune in for Wealth Building Wednesdays. I'm your host, Bomani Howze, and we'll see you next time.